If you have only been exposed to the 1966 Batman movie through the occasional screenshot or article, you have but glimpsed a piece of its true glory. While I can never deign to give myself the distinction of summing up its full brilliance, I can try to express what it is about this movie that I, and many others across the decades, have loved so much. First and foremost, this entire film is steeped in the by golly, oh shucks, stay in school kids aura, containing no hint of irony whatsoever.
Gosh, drink is sure a filthy thing, isn't it? I'd rather be dead than unable to trust my own eyes.
The movie's morality, characters, plot devices, settings, gadgets, and aesthetic, it's all so colorful, bright, and beyond endearing. Features goofs, goons, and gadgets, and it only conveys senses of the grim with the lightest of campy touches, topped with a healthy serving of melodramatic suspense.
Could be any one of them, but which one? Which ones?
Pretty fishy what happened to me on that ladder.
You mean where there's a fish, there could be a penguin?
But wait, it happened at sea. See? See for Catwoman.
This movie contains a whole collection of odd moments, which poke fun at politics, highlight government incompetence, and still manage to hold Batman up as a law-abiding citizen.
Batman and Robin are fully deputized agents of the law.
Support your police. That's our message.
It never lets him fall into the grittiness of vigilantism, but instead clothes him, figuratively and literally, in the trappings of altruism and hope. Now, Batman is clothed in a Joanne Fabrics bargain bin of shiny satin in impossibly pristine condition, topped with the kindergarten yellow utility belt and the finely drawn eyebrows of a sardonic drag queen. He stares wistfully off in the distance, expressing a shocking range of emotion using only his mouth, chin, and perfectly gloved hands. He leaps and dashes around, his cape following him in a way wholly unlike the drama and bravado of the comics. During one iconic scene, the brave Batman discovers a bomb and runs haplessly about trying to dispose of it, but hits civilians at every turn, runs into a marching band, then has to shimmy down a dock with all the grace you'd expect. Zigzagging frantically between innocent bystanders including 2 nuns, a mother and her baby, the marching band, and a small flock of ducks that Batman nobly and foolishly risks his own life to save.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Our hero speeds around in an astonishing array of bat vehicles, waving to his devoted fans, gallivanting around town, and chasing down his many villains. His unlikely range of gadgets cover a variety of highly specific scenarios, from sorting dust by color, to stopping a nuclear missile, to repelling a shark loaded with explosives.
How should I know they'd have a can of shock-repellent bat spray handy?
These relatively simple tasks become endlessly dramatic and complex, sometimes executed with an entirely unnecessary series of acrobatics. The plot is wholly deserving of this level of camp, as it contains so many improbable twists and turns that it feels like a soap opera has crashed into a Saturday morning cartoon, leaving plausibility in the wake and careening into a land of ridiculous coincidences, dramatic visuals, and overwrought melodrama played with absolutely no hint of a wink or a nudge. Batman's enemies, the United Underworld, are equally ridiculous in turn, each sporting their own bookshelf too campy for a comic book store, their own ridiculous and uncomfortable costumes, and their own set of quirks, occasionally bouncing around like a madman, laughing maniacally, or making strange animal noises aligned with their theme. Batman and Robin test their wits against the puzzles of the Riddler, who is invited into the United Underworld despite spending most of his time rushing off clues to the dynamic duo with the help of stock footage Polaris rockets. And these are some real whoppers.
What does a turkey do when he flies upside down?
He gobbles up.
Of course.
And number 2.
What weighs 6 ounces, sits in a tree, and is very dangerous?
A sparrow with a machine gun.
Yes, of course.
Perhaps more convoluted than this series of deductions are the increasingly complicated plans the villains employ to kill Batman. Some are relatively reasonable.
The fiends! They've converted this buoy into a gigantic magnet. It's got us by the metallic objects in our utility belts.
But some are completely out of left field.
I wish it were, Robin, but it's not. It's 5 dehydrated pirates rehydrated.
All of these schemes are equally unsuccessful in their attempts at Batman's life, but they do succeed in drawing all the conventions of the evil plan trope into their full glory.
We shall spring them from the Joker's Jack in the Box, through that window, out over the sea, and into the waiting arms of the Penguin's exploding octopus.
There are, unsurprisingly, a lot of antics along the way.
Damn the eyes! Shiver 'em from stem to stern!
Let's go. But inconspicuously. Through the window.
We disposed of a war surplus submarine last Friday.
a pre-atomic model. Some chap named P. N. Gwynn.
I mean, throughout this whole film, it was just campy sincerity, do-gooding heroics, and homage after homage to both the source material and the pop iconography of the 1960s. It's an utter delight to watch and holds up to the scrutiny of children and adults alike. Every time you watch this movie, it reveals more Easter eggs, visual gags, clever commentary, and more genuinely compelling moments than the time before it. And that all culminates in the most dramatic piece of French opera ever performed in the cinema. I mean, if you are not in your browser downloading this movie right now, then I don't even know what to say about that.
Batman,
Say no more, Robin. It could be compromising.
Of course.
It's just one of those things in the life of every crime fighter. It means nothing. Snap on the bat cuffs.
Hello and thank you for watching! This is the first of many more traditional video essays that I will be working on this channel. If you have thoughts on subjects or pieces of media for any of those, please let me know, because I would love to make them. Thank you also to Hudson for sharing his knowledge and love of this movie in the form of some fantastic and thorough script edits, and also his voice talent, which just made it incredible, I think. Thanks to Emily and Winston for their helpful notes. Thank you to Vivian, Mackenzie, and Adam, my Batman evangelists, for showing me the wonders of Batman and for supporting me in making this video. Thank you also to Glenn Weldon for his work on NPR and in the Caped Crusade, which made me realize what it is that I loved about not only this movie, but all heroes who are allowed to just be sincere and hopeful and good. I wish to express my gratitude to the enemies of crime and crusaders against crime throughout the world for their example. To them, to lovers of adventure, lovers of pure escapism, lovers of unadulterated entertainment, lovers of the ridiculous and bizarre, to fun lovers everywhere, this video is respectfully dedicated. Thanks for watching.